Well, here we are, the start of another fresh new batch of, unboxings and first impressions here. I really only have one knife today, but I got some others coming in, and I'm going to try to severely cut down the length of these things, probably by doing a lot fewer of them before I end up posting something there. But this first part here isn't really a knife, but it's knife adjacent. It's more of my diamond lapping films and basically 125 grit for use with my little sharpener thing. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm using the Kaiser full-size Towser K button lock today. Well, that's because it's one of the few that was in my pocket. Alright, so I got a TwoSun. If I remember right, this one is kind of a reissue and or budget version kind of thing. Yeah, looks like it. Double bag like they used to be. Good. This is using their much more recent canvas micarta rather than the old funky burlap kind of stuff. The blade I'm able to touch, but it's not too bad on this guy. But kerchunk, we'll go ahead and flip this guy open. And it looks like we got some kind of dagger here. Of course, we only have one side actually sharpened. You generally don't want to have a folding knife that has both sides sharpened, because you'll end up injuring yourself on that side. Kind of a good use case for out the fronts, of course. But yeah, let's see. We should have a number printed on here. It's number 52. I have seen these guys previously in the titanium variant. I think they had some holes in the blade and possibly in the handle for it. But this is, of course, the micarta version of it. That's fairly darn new. But yeah, pretty neat. It does remind me in size. Let's see if I can't. Aha. I suppose it probably should. Yeah, this is the, what is this one? This is the 56. Of course, it's a night morning. D2 steel, just like this one is. This is also a micarta variant. They did also do a titanium variant of this thing as well. But this one has some significant drawbacks, but the handles on these guys, very, very similar shaped. This one has some notches in places. And hey, at least you got a swappable clip on that one. But yeah, this does seem to get around some of those. It's got basically the, well, I'm going to call them quillions, but little finger guards sort of things out there. The blade on this thing is also a heck of a lot thinner, at least as far as it's ground down to being here. It is kind of interesting where the coating is kind of taken off the top just a little bit, so it kind of gives the illusion that it's sharpened on both sides, but it is not. The plunge grind on this is pretty darn fantastic, though. Really quick and way back there before the sharpening thing there. But yeah, I suppose you could call this kind of a a dagger tanto shape, I suppose. But yeah, real vicious. We got nice fuller running a full length on both sides of the blade. That's kind of neat. And yeah, like I said earlier, the blade stock is quite a bit thinner, so the blade is a little bit more nimble than I do feel from some of Night Morning's earlier designs, like the other one that I had out here a second ago. Hey, super neat. I do have a few more TwoSuns and some other things that are probably on the way. So I will get to those fairly soon. But until then, yep, I'll catch you later. Well, looks like I have just one more, and it looks to be a TwoSun here. Sure, unboxing knife, why not? This is the Maxace MK03. It's a rattlesnake design. This one seems rather similar to it's a 6-leaf that recently came out, but this one's a little bit different, and I think the fit and finish is probably a little bit better. overall, just a little bit more care to detail put into some of that stuff. But I don't know. I haven't had the other one, but hey, they're at least designed by the same person. That being Rattlesnake Design. Okay, so this one I don't believe will be a Rattlesnake Design. Nope, this is a Jelly Jerry. Alright, and it's got some schmutz covering it as usual. I think I would rather that than not, especially when, they're using D2 and all that sort of stuff. Well, let's see. The first thing that I would want to check is the blade, and it seems like just a little tiny portion, but it's way back here, where it sticks up a little bit more than I would feel comfortable with, but at least that's nowhere near basically where your finger's going to go. Kerblam! Jeez. Yes. So, Jelly Jerry had kind of posted this to a Facebook group a little while back, saying he was thinking that it was either going to be called the Drac or the Sultan. And I think he went with the Sultan. It's probably a good thing because TwoSun already has a model known as the Dracula. This one's from Wong Design. It's the TS-138. So, that and I think Sultan probably makes a little bit more sense. Puts it a little bit closer to the very, very Persian influence going on in that blade shape there. Not that I particularly think that Persia had sultans necessarily, but hey, it at least puts it closer in the world than Transylvania and Romania. But yeah, this is a beast. Pretty comfortable in the hand too. Pocket clip, very, very interesting and curved. We have a nice flat area, but it's ankled as well, so it should be relatively easy. It's also not punched into the micarta. It sits on the end there, so we're not going to have any troubles there. And yeah, this is using their more updated canvas micarta rather than the standard brown Micarta, which was kind of burlap in nature, that they had used on I don't know, things like this. So yeah, very, very Persian-esque in blade. It is all sorts of belly, and that tip is very much above the pivot point there. We got some nice crenellations going on here. Really supports your thumb when you want to get up there to apply a lot more force towards that top part of the belly to start a cut. More than likely to start a cut. A little bit of a switch. All right. Probably just helps with the balance and all that sort of stuff. We have essentially a subframe lock. Not too bad as far as all of that goes. Hey, I do like the staggered lock bar relief. That always kind of makes me smile. If they are going to have the relief on the outside, might as well make it look a little pretty. Looks like we'll probably have a internal blade stop pin there, or one going through the blade there, as we can see a little bit of that cutout. Yep, you can see that pin right there. Action right out of the box isn't supremely great, but I don't really think I will have any problems kind of tuning that up. We got these fullers here. Does make it super easy to reverse flick that or use the thumb for it. You do have that kind of broken up right there in the middle, so if that's where you're trying to put a finger, it's not going to work, but you do have above and below. Obviously, I would go with below because it gives you a lot more leverage. And, of course, we got the plunge grind. It is kind of gradual, but it ends way the hell back here before it comes up. So, no problems at all on that. And wow, the blade geometry is crazy slicey on this thing. That is fantastic to see. It says, of course, D2. Hey, it's TwoSun and 2022. So that's basically what they're doing for almost everything, unless it's M390. And their D2, I will say, definitely works out quite well. It does perform a bit better than pretty much any of the other Chinese made knives using D2. I don't know if they're just using D2 from a different manufacturer necessarily, or if they're just, they've put out so many knives with it that they've really got some heat treatment down on it. But works out super, super good. We do have a bit of a lock bar relief here. We don't really have, any of the scallops or chamfers going on there, but that's all right. It doesn't feel sharp in the finger there, where it's, kind of designed to be, and very, very easy to get that going there. There we go. Right there is where it starts to, the bearing on the lock bar starts to engage with that. Has quite a bit of a ramp up to it, but that's part of why you actually have the ramp there, so that once you get that, it's at least engaged with the blade at the point where that flipper tab is going to end up touching your thumbnail, and yeah, works out great. Yeah, this is a really fun one. Maybe not a crazy EDC kind of thing, but still very fun nonetheless. So yeah, really, really nice on the saber grip kind of thing going on here. Hammer grip, well, it doesn't really change a huge amount going on with that. Reverse grip is actually a lot better than I kind of thought that it was going to be from the handle and everything. I don't necessarily know exactly why you would want to carry this thing in a reverse grip. I suppose for a sweeping cut or something like that. But as far as penetration, the point isn't really facing out towards it, so it seems to be a little bit of diminishing returns if you wanted to try and use it that way. But still, yeah, this is a super neat one. I got this guy that I'd taken a look at, just prior, the 52. Really like the micarta on this. They have a really, really rugged texture going on there. It is a little rough around some of the edges, usually on, some of the back corners there. I did sharpen this guy, and for whatever reason, this took forever to try to get the profile and everything going on there. But I did. I got 17 on the flats and 22 up here, and I think that basically matches as far as that. I could have probably done this tip at 23 to make it even out a little bit more, but there you go. Something interesting about this one that I wanted to cover super, super quick here is that if I measure the blade stock thickness here, it's at one of the flippers, it's 3.8 or 3.9, pretty thick. However, once you actually come in, as you can see, it plunges down pretty quick. So the actual cross section of the blade that's actually used is 2.5. So that makes this thing quite nice and thin. The quillions, of course, really, really restrict exactly how you're going to end up doing that. Not particularly good for a saber grip unless you really want to grab it way back there. But for protection, this thing's got all sorts of penetration power. It's got, the full running down the blade, or blood groove, I suppose you would call it. And, a more tactile situation, which this might actually be used for. Super nice and light, though. I do like it quite a bit. It's fun. I do have another TwoSun. I don't know exactly where it would be in my drawers at the moment. Wong design that also has some quillions. But hey, there we go. So yeah, this is the 209, and I do believe that its name is the Sultan. Of course, Jelly Jerry can certainly correct me if I'm wrong on that assumption there, but I do believe that's the one that it went with. So, all right, I got some more coming up, so I'll catch you then. Woohoo, something new. This is another White Mountain Knives box. It's a little bit larger and wider than some of the other ones that they do. I suppose for unboxing today, I'll use the Open House number 12. Why? I don't know. It was just sitting out, and it's hilariously large. So, a 1 piece of tape, a 2 piece of tape, and a 3 piece of tape. All right. Okay. Maxace. I don't know why, but this box, maybe it's some of the stuff up here, it really gives me some like 80s electronics vibes or something like that. Like new Commodore 64 or something weird. I don't know, let's see. Oh, well, we have the information here. This is a Black Mirror. Okay, slides out. Well, yeah, we got a microfiber cloth, all right, and we got some extra hardware, including the pivot. That's always good to see. I like that. Okay, yeah, titanium frame lock, and we got raindrop style carbon fiber for the front scale there. Back scale doesn't really have one. Yeah, no problems whatsoever. This guy, yeah, M390 blade on these guys. I have not tried Maxace's M390 thus far, so this will be kind of a foray for me, but they do pretty darn good on a lot of their knives as far as the heat treat. Like even their budget knives that are K110, so, you know, name brand D2 and stuff like that. They're really, really hard. So hopefully that's going to be the case with this one. I do like the looks of it, probably why I picked it up. Nice anodized pocket clip mounted from the inside, always like that. As well as kind of the crenellated lock bar relief. Fairly late detent on that guy. That might be kind of by choice, since it doesn't have the flipper tab there that would rack down on you or anything like that. But yeah, looks super nice. Obviously the plunge grind on this guy, quite good. Ends way down there, way before that. Nice stonewash finish we got going on the blade there. So that part of it's not a mirror. Okay. Nice steel lock bar insert on there. Yeah, this guy wasn't too bad. Some of the Maxaces out there can really get up in price, like $300 some odd and things like that. This one was quite a bit more subdued as far as the actual cost. I will say that this was technically a return to White Mountain Knives, but it was only returned because the person didn't really like the detent strength on it. Probably part of that is that the pocket clip halfway rests on the lock bar, so trying to get it out with the thumb is a little bit difficult, which you could change if you do a little bit of relief there on the lock bar tension, but it's easy enough to reverse flick, so I'm perfectly happy with that. Nice and comfortable in the hand for it being kind of a smaller knife. I say smaller knife. Here we are. Yeah, just a touch over 3 inches for the blade there, which, I'm usually tickled pink when a knife can actually do that with like a 3-inch or less knife that's still actually comfortable for a full 4-finger grip. And this one, I can actually get 3.5, but very comfortably, since it actually ramps up there. And nestles in with the pinky there. So that works out super great. And then, of course, you can also choke up real nice on there. So that's great. Nice thin blade stock. Looks like, I don't know, probably somewhere around 3 millimeters or something like that. Nice blade geometry going on there. That's some good stuff. Doesn't feel all that sharp. Not gonna lie to you there. So I will probably have to put a little bit more of an edge on it myself. And yeah, there's no weight relieving going on the inside of this. So this thing could have been lighter, I guess. But you know what? I'm happy with it the way it is. It's a little bit handle heavy because it doesn't have that weight relieving. I mean, outside of the front scale there, of course, that they had to mill out. You can definitely feel the seam around it, but you know, only if you're looking for it. It's not sticking out proud or anything super crazy like that. Yeah. Not bad. I can easily get that tension or get the action to be a little bit better. It feels fairly smooth. I can hear a little bit of motion on that lock bar bearing there, and that's probably going to be due to the fact that it's stone washed and they didn't polish that little track afterwards. As you can probably, yeah, it's not super deep as far as where that detent ball rides before it gets to the detent there. So certainly some things that made them cut the costs on those things a little bit, but nothing egregious by any stretch of the imagination. Seems like a really nice knife. So glad to have been able to pick this one up. As I smack into that. Yeah, it does come out with an authoritative sound as it breaks the detent when you're doing that, at least the reverse flick. Yeah. Super sweet. All right, well, I will go ahead and call it here. And I think in the next day or two, some more knives are supposed to show up or something like that. Maybe, hopefully. I don't know. I guess you'll find out at the end of this video. But in the meantime, I'll catch you later. All right, this should be the last one here for this little set. I suppose you can see this. Apparently my Crowley's button lock failed. I just randomly pulled it out of one of my drawers and deployed it, and it took a lot of force. But then, yeah, the button was just not working. So it's sitting there on my table. I'll get to it in the next day or two. But yeah, I got something from White Mountain Knives. I honestly don't even remember exactly what this one is, but hey, we'll find out together. All right. Oh, that's TwoSun. Oh, okay. Now I think I remember. This is, oh, well, that's going to spoil it. Yeah, it's a TS-166. This is one I do believe I was seeing right around when I started collecting these guys, but never won one of the auctions, and so I was surprised to see that. They got a big old chunk of them all sorts of in here. This is a Wong design, but just kind of looking at it, doesn't quite look that way. It looks a little bit more like some of Night Mornings. I don't know, just a little bit more curvy than some kind of angles or something like that. But yeah, this one's in D2. I do think they, the original ones, or at least a variant that I was seeing was in a higher steel. I honestly don't remember now if that was an S90V or M390, but either way, there we go. The detent on this thing is ridiculously crisp. Yeah, that's a good detent there. Hey, we got a nice sort of thing going on here with the plunge grind long before we actually get to the blade, so that should help out a little bit with some of those smile kind of things. The fuller is just a little too small for me. Maybe your mileage may vary. This thing seems to be right around where I can seem to get it most of the time, but would like just maybe a little bit more room. So this one's a little bit less than that, but still, that's all right. It's quite the full-size knife there. And, it's as thick as a baseball bat, as a whole lot of TwoSuns are, especially the earlier ones. But that being said, it's still ground nice and thin behind the edge, so that's good. We have some lock bar relief. That's always good to see. Makes it a little bit easier for the closing. And this guy's blade is tucked up in there nicely, so you don't really have any worries about cutting yourself or anything like that when it's closed, like we've seen on some of the other ones recently. Yeah, pretty sweet. And the pocket clip basically does avoid the whole lock bar altogether, and right before that lock bar relief there. It's a little stiff, but it should work out pretty well. Nice. Glad to actually have this thing available. And it's nice and affordable. This is, much less than the $99 or so that I think a lot of these things are going for. This one was a bit cheaper. And of course, with White Mountain Knives discount codes that they have, and as well as not having to pay sales tax, at least right off the bat, I end up paying it at the end of the year because I don't really want a tax man coming after me in the years following or anything like that. And, it's nice to actually support the state I live in and the state that, it wouldn't be the state that New Hampshire is in because no sales tax. But alrighty, cool. So that's basically it here. So I will call this one because the last group of these was way too freaking long. So yeah, I apologize for that, and they'll be much shorter from now on. So as always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo. And subscribe.